Hello everyone, welcome to week 5 of the Top Chat podcast. My name is Matt. Joining me as ever is my co-host Joe. Hello mate.
Alright mate.
This is take 2. Alright mate, this is take 2, isn't it? We're going to tell the ladies and gentlemen, basically we recorded this podcast yesterday morning and it was our first attempt at using 2 microphones because you've now bought one, haven't you?
I have indeed.
But your laptop is not very good and doesn't have any RAM, and my laptop decided it didn't want to work. So basically our entire recording yesterday was terrible to the point where we didn't want to use it, so we're giving it another crack, aren't we?
We're back to square one, staring into each other's eyes,
Yeah,
close
we are.
together, balancing our mic on a book, professional as always.
See, that won't make any sense to people because they don't know. Yesterday when we recorded
I
with
forgot
2
that.
microphones,
Yeah.
we were looking at each other longingly across 2 different sofas, but now we're back
so
together.
far away.
We were. This feels good. This feels good. This feels...
Let's never change.
No, let's not change. 1 microphone's enough. You wanted to... Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit weird because we've pretty much had this entire conversation we're about to have already.
It was some top chat.
You're in for a good one, ladies and gents. And you wanted to start with a shout out as becoming consistent on the channel, on the podcast, sorry, not the channel, to your little bro, Seb Walsh.
Seb from the web.
Last week we were discussing the Epic Store Metro, whatever it was, nonsense, and why people don't like the Epic Store compared to Steam. And we basically put it to Seb specifically, or just in general?
I think Seb specifically, but
Yeah,
because he's the PC guy.
Yeah, I mean Aaron is as well, but still, we went to Seb, and he's come back with, well, this, isn't he? Would you like to take it away?
I will. Once I haven't
Once you
really
found
prepared it.
You've not prepared at all.
No.
So just a
You
bit
would have
of...
thought we'd rehearsed this.
You would have thought, yeah.
2 times.
Just a bit of a refresher for the people then. So yeah, this was a story about how the Metro game series is from now on only going to be for sale on the Epic Store. Is that correct?
Indeed, Metro Exodus, the new one.
What's the word I'm looking for? They're taking themselves off Steam, and people aren't happy about it. And
They're not. And we were just questioning. We thought it's not such a big deal.
to us
But-
console
Exactly.
scrubs.
But so here's what Seb had to say.
Go on, son.
It's nice having all your library in one place, so you know what games you have or fancy playing. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And then one that I didn't think about, seeing as we've just got our library of discs and then our console library, is that you can actually forget about games by having them across too many services.
Too many different launchers, yeah.
And
That's a
then it
good
goes on
point.
to list
A
Steam,
list?
Uplay, Origin, GOG, Bethesda Launcher, Epic's Game Store, which just to name a few.
Okay.
So there's quite a lot, and I can imagine
There's more than I realised, I will say.
especially with Origin is EA, and then Uplay is Ubisoft, and then Bethesda, and then
Well, yeah.
I don't know about GOG, but
I was going to say I've never heard of GOG. But
there's a lot.
I mean, yeah, that it's quite a good point about having everything in the one place because it's just so much more convenient. And like he said, you would easily forget, like if you've got 10 games in Steam, 5 games in whatever GOG is, and 5 games in the Epic Store. If you spend the majority of your time on Steam, because that's where most of your games are, there's a good chance you will
Considering
just
games
completely
are so
forget.
cheap on there that you pick one
Oh,
up
yeah,
and then
Steam
like
sale
put it
is-
in your library and stuff.
Yeah, well, as we mentioned, the Steam sale is
Indeed.
outrageous.
I also have an article which I found very interesting by David Galindo at Gamer Sutra.
Nice.
Good name, man. I like
Yeah,
it.
don't Google it wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said last time.
Thank you. Well, you know, I didn't want
And
anyone
he's
to miss
a-
out on the comedy gold.
He's an indie developer, and when this Epic Game Store was announced back in December, he wrote an article as to why this might not actually be good for indie developers as much as people saying it is, because you get more of a split on the Epic Game Store, you get more money, but does that translate to more sales because Steam has a bigger audience? So yeah, very interesting article, so I recommend you check that out.
We'll probably link it in the YouTube description, shall we? Probably not in the iTunes description because that just seems a bit weird.
Let's
but
do it. I also
we'll
want to
stick it in the YouTube box.
quickly go through.
Oh yeah,
Matt didn't like this
I
last
didn't
time.
like this yesterday, but do it again. That's fine.
But this is what Steam has and Epic Game Store doesn't.
Just make it quick.
Third-party keys, account sharing, achievements, big picture TV mode, broadcasting, cloud saves, cross-platform account connection, curation, curators, DRM, free support, early access, forums, friends list and chat, gifting, groups, inventory support, library, sorting, marketplace item trading, mod distribution workshop, offline play, which I don't know how it doesn't have offline play.
I was going to say, how does the Epic Store not have?
Well,
That's
it's
got to be
probably
crucial, surely.
It's probably like the Xbox, when Xbox One was first announced, and it had to be online all the time
online
to play your
constantly.
games. Kind of thing.
Madness.
It was stupid things like that, and they haven't learned. Player count data, regional pricing, screenshot capture, stream to other devices.
Wait, regional pricing?
Yeah.
I missed you mention that yesterday.
Well, it's 'cause
Seems so silly to reference
you were
this
cutting
chat.
over me.
Yeah, because I was bored. But to be honest, they don't have regional pricing.
No.
That's insane.
Trading cards, two-factor authentication, universal controller support, which is mad as well.
Yeah.
User created guides, user profiles, user reviews, which is mad. Version rollback support, VR support, wish lists. So, and then actually, I didn't notice this, but total positive features. Steam has 37 and Epic has 6.5. Whatever a positive feature is, but yeah.
I was going to say, who's defined what a positive?
But we'll
Some
see.
of them to me made sense. Like the controller thing, them not having compatibility with universal controllers or whatever the expression was, because Epic make games that are optimized for keyboard mouse.
Indeed.
So they're not going to want you to use a controller. So that one to me makes sense, and a couple of them also kind of were like, that makes sense and that's understandable, blah blah blah. But for the most part, yeah, that is mental.
But I think
That's insane.
I know there's a lot of people going around saying, "Oh, Epic's just launched. Steam's had 15 years." But Epic's had 15 years to see what Steam are doing.
Yeah,
Just put some of these basic things in.
it's
I
uncharted territory for them, I would say. We'll see, shall we? I mean, time will tell. I don't think Steam's going anywhere anytime soon.
think. Okay.
Can't see it happening.
Before we get into the news, I just want to plug my video.
Your video that went up today. Go on then, mate. You carry on.
In the video, I did say, check out episode 5. It will be out before the video. But the video
and then everything
messed up.
went wrong.
And I edited the video in about a day. It took about a day's work. First time I've ever really edited video, ever recorded on my own.
It came out very well, I will say.
I'm quite surprised how well it came out, considering my computer, as we said, is shit.
It was terrible,
And
yeah.
I couldn't even
absolute
preview
garbage.
the effects that I was putting on and like the pictures that were in it. I couldn't preview it. I couldn't preview the video.
It was a render and
I
hope.
sort of had to guess a bit. And yeah, the amount of time it took to render, so I can actually see it. But yeah.
Well,
so
it
check
turned
that
out-
out if you like tennis games, or if you don't, if you just love the sound of my voice.
I will say as well, considering it's your first attempt at just talking by yourself, because as far as I'm aware, you've never done anything like that before, have you?
I have not.
Yeah, well, I think I don't know. You sound like a natural. You'll get better over time. I'm trying to be nice, but yeah, no, it's good. It's very good. Everyone should go and watch it.
It's like when I lost my virginity.
It's it's on the channel. We're not going to put it on iTunes or any of that jazz because it's only, what is it?
8 minutes.
It's 8 minutes long, yeah.
Bit
So
of a bite-sized top chat for you.
pint-sized top chat. What have you called it?
Topinion.
Yeah, Topinion. I like that actually. It's
It wasn't going to be a Jopinion.
a Joe Pinion, yeah. And then I was going to do what matters to me or something like that, wasn't I? Working titles for now, but yeah, we're going to do some video essay kind of things. One of which is done, and it's the tennis one. Tennis Games 101 by well, yeah, this guy.
Thanks.
I'll probably do an Assassin's Creed one soon because it's all I know anything about. Yeah. What you've been playing this week? You've got an update, haven't you? On
what I've been playing this week.
Horizon.
Now, with our second opportunity to record this podcast, I now can actually give an answer to
actually,
this.
we should probably clarify that. So yesterday, this segment was very short because neither of us have been doing anything. But today, you've had a bit of free time while your video's been rendering.
Yeah.
And what have you done with it?
I completed the main story on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Way, crowd. Yep, loving it.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done, mate. It's only taken you... I can't talk. I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
I mean, it could have taken me a lot shorter, but the last 2 weeks I haven't had any time. So basically, it took me about 4 hours today just to finish it off.
Oh, okay, that's not
There's
bad.
a couple of side quests I haven't done, but
You're not going for the hundo? Not going for the big hundo percent?
Nah, it's collector marathon. You want to find the hidden items, and you can buy maps and stuff to find them. But I don't have time for that. I just want to get into another game, to be honest.
Yeah, good.
So we've got something else to talk about.
Yeah, because
I've very enjoyed it. It's a very good story. Combat's very interesting. A little bit stale side quests and a bit of that similar formula to a lot of open world games these days. But I think the story and the polish of like a Sony first party game sets it apart a bit.
More on that later.
Yes, indeed.
Well, shall I introduce the topic quickly, as that's quite a nice little segment? So you can see it from the title anyway, but this week we're talking about console exclusives. So we've got 5 or 6 games for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4, or, these are all just, they're slated releases, aren't they? So they could come out on next gen, we don't honestly know. But that's what's coming up in a bit. For now, if you'd like to continue your review, sorry sir, carry on.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, but I think I'm trying to place it on my top 10 list. I don't know.
You think it would get, because you flip-flopped on this a bit. A couple of weeks ago you said you reckon it would get in there, and then the next week you said, nah, it wouldn't.
I think it'd be about 11 or maybe 10.
Okay.
Push RuneScape out
what
there.
Was that your number 10? Was RuneScape?
RuneScape, yeah.
What was number 9?
Top Spin 4 or something.
If you get rid of that then, just stick Horizon in there.
But it'd definitely be an honourable mention.
Okay.
There is DLC, quite considerable DLC.
Really? I didn't know. Oh yeah, there's
15 quid.
No, that's Zelda. What's it called? Wild?
Frozen Wilds.
That's it. I knew it was something
Which
wild.
I would get. I think I'd need to wait for it to be in a sale. Because I'd rather spend money on like getting God of War or Spider-Man or something.
Yeah. God of War was like £5 the other week. Definitely should have picked that up.
But yeah, so if that comes in a sale, I'll get it, and then I'll probably complete all the side missions that I need to do. But for now, done. Romeo done.
That's the first completed game
It is.
between us.
Completed it, mate.
Well, since it completed it, mate. Have you ever actually watched those videos?
Yeah, I love his YouTube channel.
I don't know. I do like James Buckley. I think he's very funny, but I can't get
James
in.
Buckley is Jay from The In-Betweeners.
Yeah,
by the
sorry.
way.
Jay from The In-Betweeners has a YouTube channel called Completed It, Mate, where he uploads probably one video a month of him.
No, it's actually quite regular. He streams now.
Oh.
I watch a video.
See, that shows how I am subscribed, but I don't really watch them. But yeah, he plays like Call of Duty and stuff, doesn't he? He's not very good.
Yeah,
but he's somewhat entertaining.
I think he's funny because he's not his character, which I think is quite good.
Yeah. Well,
because he's very dry.
He is very dry, whereas Jay's just a bit
that.
stupid
Exactly.
and crude. Anyway, as for me, what have I been playing this week? You guessed it, Odyssey. I'm now at 80 hours, I think.
Yeah.
And in terms of, I tried to work out the other night how much further I've got left to go, because I've defogged, I'd say about 75% of the map. So I've just got the east portion where there's like 6 or 7 just islands, which will probably be like a day's worth of play each. By a day, I mean like 3 hours or whatever, to clear each of those islands. So I'm probably looking at another 15, 20 hours, I think. But then based off the trophy list, they're all hidden, so I don't know this for sure, and I don't want to check because spoilers. But I think I've got 4 story-related, like chapter complete trophies left, but I've only done 6. So
you're 60% of the way through.
Well,
if my maths is correct.
Your maths is very good, but I don't know for certain if that is the case. That's just me basing it off what, most games have trophies for level complete, blah, 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 and then, that's the first portion of a trophy list is level complete. Right? Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty standard. So, yeah, I think I'm about 60% through the story.
Oh.
Yeah, but the way I play these games is I mop up and then do the story,
that is
which
what
is
I was
backwards.
doing with Horizon, but I sort of was just ready for the story to be over. I was like, I'm ready to move on to something else.
It is a bit silly because usually with Assassin's games, when you complete the main quest, you get like a boss-ass weapon, and then I will complete the story and have nothing left to do because I've done everything.
Funnily enough.
So, yeah.
I was going to bring this up, but on Horizon, there's a side mission where you can get this, I think you have to get these power cells that are scattered throughout story missions. So I had to wait until near the end of the game when I got it. But you get this armor that's like basically doubles your health, and then it regens as well. So the last boss fight was so easy.
That's a little bit annoying, actually, isn't it?
Because the game's quite challenging. That's the best bit about the game, is because you've got all these little parts which you've got to shoot off the machines and stuff. But then it was just sort of a bit like, I can sponge here, like maybe do some health potions a little bit. But
there you go. Here's the easy win.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little bit disappointing. There's a game that is on the tip of my tongue that does the exact same thing. Oh, actually, I'm thinking of Destiny. In Destiny 2, there was this really disappointing bit at the end of the campaign. I know you don't really know much about Destiny, but you get like supercharged, which is after like 5 minutes or whatever, your character can do something cool. And for some reason, the final boss fight of Vanilla Destiny 2, so like the first campaign, when you do that fight, you have like infinite super, and it's like, why? It's not meant to be a difficult game, but it's not meant to be an easy game. But for some reason, what is meant to be the hardest part of, you know, just the story is the easiest, and it's like, why? I don't get that as a game design thing. I just don't.
I remember once.
Why?
I played Saints Row 2 back on the PS3, or actually Xbox 360, and like the cheat codes were really easy on that game. And I put in a cheat code or whatever that was basically you could unlock it. I think I can't remember, but I had infinite health throughout that, like from the first level.
But when you're young, you feel like
15.
Yeah, this is okay. 15, really?
It's only 10 years ago or so.
Oh yeah. Actually, no. Last week we recorded on your birthday. I was going to say then, because you're changing all the time. You've got a year older. You've cut your hair off.
I've cut all my hair off.
You've cut all your hair off.
It used to be down to my shoulder pads.
And now it's all short like mine.
It is indeed. I've actually quickly thrown it back to Assassin's Creed.
Oh, thanks. Go on.
We mentioned on the podcast, maybe episode 2 or 3, we were talking about video game movies.
My God. I'm going to watch a movie.
Couldn't help myself. Austin Powers shout out.
Christ, that was tragic.
Yeah, so and you were talking about the Assassin's Creed movie
with old Fassbender.
Yeah,
with Michael Fassbender. You know what? I literally saw like 2 nights ago. It popped up on Netflix. I was like, why? I'm surprised that in this world of minimal privacy and everything talking to each other, I'm really surprised that my PlayStation Netflix hasn't seen that all I play is Assassin's Creed, and it's gone, oh, you know, he's on this a lot. Maybe we should recommend him the film. Because you would have thought, with, you know, we're constantly being spied on by stuff.
Exactly.
Why can't Netflix spy on me?
Facebook adverts picks up what I'm speaking about.
Yeah.
But maybe we can sit and watch the Assassin's Creed movie together.
Movie and give it a review.
No, it's not giving a review. It's like 3 years old.
Yeah, true. On this motif,
always
of
up
things,
to date on Top
of things watching you. So a little bit of inside information about me. I work for Swatch, the watch manufacturer. I've never before been on their website. Like before joining the company, I've never been on the website. I never bought one before. Blah 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 blah. As soon as I started working there, my Google ad services now is constantly Swatch. And if I go on like Twitter or something, you know, you get those random, and it's like I still haven't ever Googled it. I just happen to like because Maps clearly sees that I'm there a lot, but then you would think, oh, he's there enough where he probably doesn't need to. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Someone who doesn't need to be advertised swatches is someone who works for Swatch.
You would think on the front line.
Should we get into the news?
Let's do the news. What's occurring? Well,
what is occurring?
We'd like to apologise for. Well, I'd like to apologise first of all for last week because it was an extremely news-heavy episode, and we don't really want it to be like that, do we? No. There was a lot going on, but I think we agree it went on a bit too long.
The biggest thing about that one as well was so most of the time we record on a Tuesday, upload it on a Thursday, but I think that one we'd recorded the Tuesday before and then recorded that episode on the Thursday. It was like up on the same day.
Yeah, so it was a week and 2 days of news rather than just the week.
News, yeah.
And a lot did happen, to be fair. But this week we're going to fly through because none of it's particularly like game changing. Just a couple of interesting bits, and then we'll finish on the most important one, which is of course the thing that you've got prepared, haven't you? The thing about
I have indeed.
Microsoft. Anyway, let's kick things off with Respawn Entertainment and their surprise release and announcement a couple of days ago of the game Apex Legends. They announced it and then said, yeah, it's ready to play on PS4, Xbox and PC. It's a Battle Royale game. Respawn are, of course, the developers behind Titanfall. And this game, this Apex Legends, looks...
And the new Star Wars game.
And the new Star Wars game that's coming, Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order. Different portion of the team making that one, but the team that has made Apex Legends are the team that have come from Titanfall. And this is a Battle Royale game set in the Titanfall universe, and it just bloody well looks like it, to be honest.
Just without the Titans.
Just without the Titans.
So it's just a fall.
It's just the fall. You can't double jump, you can't like wall run and stuff, because I think their reasoning for that is it would make the skill gap like too high.
That's fair.
Which is that's an interesting thing to say, because you look at games like Fortnite, where it started off and everyone was a bit crap, and now people are just I know you don't really watch it, and I haven't watched it for months, but still, people got to the point in that game where they were just unbelievable. Like they could build structures in 2 seconds. You'd be dead before you'd even clocked where the person even was. Why would you want to limit that? I don't.
The thing
really...
is that this game was designed purposefully to be a battle royale game, whereas Fortnite was squeezed into it. Fortnite Save the World already had the building mechanics, so it sort of was added on a bit, and it worked with the game. Whereas I think
this is designed from the ground up as a battle royale.
Exactly, just like a boots on the ground shooter, which I'm a fan of. Although I'm
after you've skydived in, then it's boots on the ground.
Yeah. So you skydive in like every other battle royale game in that?
I don't know what I've seen, like YouTube footage of you basically. Yeah, you all fly down together and you. Yeah, skydive. Yeah.
Anyway, I am actually downloading this currently right now.
Oh, me too. That's why our internet's being shit.
I'm not interested in online games, but Titanfall looks good. I've coveted it from afar.
It's very fluid. It looks very like polished and interesting. The thing that puts me off about this, have you actually watched any of this Apex Legends? Have you seen?
No.
Okay, the thing that puts me off about it is, I think the thing that I liked about Fortnite so much was just how accessible it was. It was very much pick up, play for an hour, and I mean, obviously, I just said that the skill gap has increased exponentially, but you could play that game pretty comfortably after 2 or 3 rounds. You'd know everything. I don't understand Apex Legends because there's classes, there's abilities, there seems to be a lot of different weapons, there's some weird revive system.
Well, it
doesn't look that easy to just grasp.
I think it's taking that Battlefield class-based system but actually putting it in a battle royale, which I don't think's been done before.
No.
Because normally you're just like a standard
Yeah.
soldier with no special abilities or whatever,
Yeah.
and you go picking up stuff.
You're just a
But
skin.
I think now, I guess from the start, you're like one of you's a healer or something.
Yeah,
like that.
well, people are saying it's as if Overwatch, COD, specifically Blackout, so of course Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode. So yeah, if Overwatch, Blackout, and then Titanfall, if they had some sort of 3-way child, this is what it would be, and it's called Apex Legends, which
Sounds good.
is, I mean, it's quite a cool name. It just makes me want to say Apex Predator. I always want to get the name wrong because Apex Predator is a thing. You do love getting names wrong, but yeah, that's out at the moment. We'll probably give our thoughts on it at some point if it ever actually downloads.
So. Maybe we could play it together.
We could play it together.
We played a game together.
Don't know, probably FIFA last year.
FIFA 16 or something.
And as we just touched on a second ago, so Respawn have essentially split their studio in half, and the other half of the studio is currently at work on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which we talked about last week. Cool. Next, Ubisoft. Ubisoft?
I say Ubisoft because it's ubiquitous software.
So surely it's Ubisoft. Ubiquitous, not ubiquitous. Anyway,
so.
They did a little oopsie in the week where they sent everyone who signed up to the Division marketing emails, they sent everyone an email with the subject line, "Come and see what a real government shutdown looks like." Because, of course, America's in a bit of a bad state at the moment where the government
Same in the UK.
went into shut. Well, our government hasn't gone into shutdown per se.
We'll see.
Not yet, but yeah, it kind of offended a lot of people because obviously it's not a good thing to happen, is it? A lot of people, will have lost a lot of money. It's a massive inconvenience.
Not
Probably
getting paid.
Exactly. So, somewhat insensitive on Ubi's part. And then, 2 hours later, they sent another email apologising for doing so. Oh, it's somewhat funny. Division 2, interested in that?
I've always looked at the Division I like that game, but don't make me play online with people. Why?
Well, the whole thing's online.
Exactly. Everyone. If it was a single player, I like the first one. I think it's New York at Christmas, a Forever Christmas. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't really interest me. Same with Anthem as well.
Anthem's a weird one for me because it interests me less and less the more I see of it.
Yeah,
I
saw the first bit of it at E3 or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, this looks sick."
And then, the more I see, the less I'm like, "Oh."
And also, it's EA.
Yeah.
Have you seen
and
that
BioWare?
chart? The chart
of
how to get into the different betas. There's about 5 different betas going on.
I haven't seen
one
this,
through
no.
EA Early Access. If you've pre-ordered the special edition, if you've given
special edition EA, surely not.
Just ridiculous.
Well,
And
I mean,
I think this is unfortunate for BioWare. That anyway, not a
yeah. I mean, Anthem's coming out soon, so I guess we'll rather than us play it and react, I guess we'll just give our opinions on. I don't know, other people's opinions. We'll just talk about the reviews it gets.
I'm not getting that game.
Something you won't be interested in. but I am, because it's Tequila Works, who are the developers of Rime, which was number 10 in my top 10 games of all time, episode 1, check it out. Available on iTunes and YouTube, and Podbean and something else. You can find it probably if you just Google it. Anyway, Rime developers Tequila Works are making a new game, nothing like Rime, which is disappointing because I would quite like them to make another story-driven adventure game. Adventure puzzle game, but it looks like they're not doing that. Instead, what they're making is a PSVR, Oculus Rift, and HTC, whatever it's called, virtual reality game called Groundhog Day, like father, like son. Groundhog Day, of course, the mid-80s, I think.
I guess so.
Movie. I think it's like a comedy drama, starring Bill Murray, where he's a man trapped, reliving the same day over and over again. I've not seen it. I feel like I would quite like it.
Well, it's just been Groundhog Day. I remember a lot of Americans tweeting, I think the 2nd of February is Groundhog Day, whatever that means.
Well, it's just a day that repeats itself, isn't it? It's just, I think it's like deja vu, but for a whole day.
I mean, I think that is the whole of February.
Yeah, it's the whole of January, isn't it? January's a crap month. Anyway, yeah, it's set in the same universe as the film. You play as Bill Murray's son. It's not that particularly interesting, even to me, to be honest. I just like Tequila Works because I like
It's an
Rime.
interesting movie tie-in. To do one like 30 years later.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, they're not making a Groundhog Day 2.
Not that I've heard.
So, yeah, and why is it VR?
Wow.
Anyway, I thought I'd just throw it out there. PSN in 2018 made more money than, get this, Nintendo did entirely. So just the PlayStation Network, not PlayStation, not Sony, just the network, made more money than all of Nintendo. They made 12.5, or they declared $12.5 billion US dollars in profit for 2018, which is also more than Microsoft's gaming department. Mental.
That is mental.
12.5 billion US dollars.
Wow.
An insane amount of money, more than Nintendo, and that's just the network. Madness.
I guess when you've got 90 million PlayStations out there in the wild,
active PS4s or whatever they are,
and then everyone who's buying all those GTA Shark Bucks and PlayStation getting a
FIFA
cut
points.
of, yeah, exactly. PlayStation get a cut of all of that because like the place to play like these games, Destiny and FIFA and games that exist on like microtransactions and such, is on PlayStation because that's where everyone else is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
early
that's
access
where
to a
people
lot
are
of
spending
stuff.
the money. But it is surprising PSN made more money
Just
than
it's,
Nintendo.
to me, it's the fact that it's just the network.
Exactly.
It's insane.
But Switch has had a great year. I think it's about 17 million Switches.
Saw a guy playing Switch on the tube today, actually.
Did you? What's he playing?
Oh, he was sat opposite me. I don't know.
That's a shame.
I wanted to have a look, but I
Every
thought
single
it might be a
time
bit
I see
weird.
someone playing a Switch, they're always playing Dead Cells, which is really interesting.
I don't know what that is.
Neither do I really, but they're always playing it. I
Dead
think
Cells.
I'm missing out. Yeah,
Is it
I think it's on PS4 as well.
that could either be a puzzle or a survival horror?
No, it's like from what I've seen, it's like a side-scrolling
Oh, okay.
action type.
Well,
game.
perhaps you should look into it.
Maybe I should, but also I don't have any money, and I've also got piles and piles of games to play.
I see what you did there. I thought then you would just... Oh, no, don't worry.
No.
Final bit of news is the Microsoft... What am I trying to say? They're making Xbox Live.
Are we on
Is
me
it
now? We are.
Well, this is where you come in. Xbox Live is being made available on Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
and mobiles, as in phones, right? Smartphones, which is interesting. And I want you to recount your theory on the Microsoft Nintendo partnership.
So let me just give a bit of context. So they've come out and said that they're working on the Xbox Live service for these devices. However, they've only said it's like achievements and friends lists and chat and stuff like that. But
the basics
of Xbox Live. But what I'm and a lot of other people are thinking is, what is the point of having that on your Switch if they're not going to end up developing the Games Pass on the Switch? What's the other one called? Games with Gold, and they're also developing their own gaming streaming service, which we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So
That's a good point.
we
Yeah.
could be seeing Xbox Live games on the Nintendo Switch in the near future. And Xbox, their Play Anywhere initiative, I think it is, has started with Like you can play any Xbox game on your PC. So if that's come to Switch, that would be a real win.
It would make me want to Switch even more than I already do.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Imagine that, like playing
Halo on the go.
Halo on the go. I mean, I wouldn't get Halo, but
I would. I'd totally get like Halo 2 or something. I'd definitely get that. Imagine, right, we've got a setup in our living room where our flatmate has a projector that he kindly lets us borrow every now and then, and you can plug it into your Switch, and we beam it up on the wall, and we play a bit of Mario Kart every now and then. Imagine playing fucking like Halo 2. That would be sick. Split screen Halo 2 projected on the wall.
I mean,
it'd be difficult with the
Joy-Cons. Get it
Joy-Cons.
on an Xbox, but
that's a good point. I should probably get a cheap second-hand Xbox.
Exactly. The advantage of
I might do this now.
The Switch is actually
Gumtree.
having all these Xbox games portable.
Yeah.
Which would be sweet. And I know Japan worked with or tested streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Switch, but only in Japan because their internet is infinitely better.
I thought Sweden's was the best in the world.
Probably is, but has Nintendo got like a Swedish?
They probably don't even know that Sweden exists.
Division.
Sweden.
They've probably just got a European one.
I was about to do a Japanese accent. I'm glad I didn't do that. I want you to talk about your theoretical partnership, this Sony crushing partnership that you think might develop, because I thought that was a very interesting thesis.
So Xbox and Nintendo have been pretty sweet with each other recently, appearing alongside each other, both logos, in the Fortnite cross-platform.
They were the first to do it, of course, while Sony was still throwing the toys out the pram.
I think it's with Rocket League. I think it's with quite a few games, to be honest, now. Sony's eventually done it like 5 months later and been like, can we join in?
Fine, you win.
Yeah.
Well done, Sony.
And PlayStation, who famously don't get on with Nintendo because of the Nintendo PlayStation back in the early 90s, I think 94, something like that.
Good year.
So, why? Because you were born?
Yeah.
Nah. Nothing happened in the world until 95. When I was
94 was the year Pulp Fiction came out.
No, nothing actually happened. The world was just stopped.
Right, okay.
And then it got to 95.
This is
I was born, and then everyone sort of started moving.
This is a tangent.
Like
this is
Truman
a very
Show.
weird tangent.
I am in the Truman Show.
Truman Show. To quote Lower Than Atlantis, never thought I'd do that on the podcast. Have you ever thought like maybe the Truman Show was real? Because I do every now and then.
Yeah, all the time.
I don't know if I've got like paranoia and I don't even know it, because the amount of times I feel like the whole world is looking at me and I'm like,
just the whole world.
I wonder if they recognise me from my Truman Show. Well, they're thinking, that's the guy.
Everyone will recognise you from Top Chat podcast soon.
They will.
Your voice anyway.
We going global, baby. No, we're going to start video and stuff, aren't we?
Are we?
We got some ideas in the pipeline.
Okay.
I want to do
so anyway,
some of them. Yeah.
Next gen, we can see Xbox, instead of having to do a handheld themselves, they'll just put everything on the Nintendo Switch. Streaming, people will be paying their £40 a year Xbox Live membership to them, the 30 odd million Nintendo Switches that are out there, and then also buying games on the Xbox Store just gets them more money, also gets the Halo brand out there, things like that, while PlayStation is there like kicking us its little PS Vita 2, going like, oh, pay attention to me please. When
play on this.
Everyone's given up. The PlayStation Vita is dead, and everyone should accept it. Unfortunately,
coming from you, Vita's biggest fanboy. The only other person I know that loves a Vita as much as you is the guy from What Culture.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's Jules
Switch
or if
has
it's
got incredible games.
The other one,
but the Switch is better. Unfortunately, and since I've had my Switch, I haven't touched my Vita. I think I played Super Meat Boy recently. That was about it.
Is that your code name for your penis? You played Super Meat Boy.
Anyway, speaking of genitalia.
Oh yes, here we go.
So
wait, I don't know what you're about to say. What am I talking about?
The funniest thing at work.
Really? What happened?
The funniest thing. So I work in a bar, and once a month we have skeptics in the pub, who have sort of like lecture talks about a range of topics.
Wait, is that actually what you call it? Skeptics in the pub?
That's what they call it.
Oh my god!
Thing. So
how very lizard people, David Icke.
Yeah, a very broad range of topics. So we had like the sexism of the cavemen talk once, and the last one was pornography laws, and it was the UK's only pornography lawyer who was delivering the lecture. And he was talking something about fisting. about how it's certain portrayals of fisting in different media are legal or not.
Portrayals of how can you otherwise portray fisting without actually doing it?
This was the woman's question. So a woman stood up. She was desperate. She was waving to get his attention. Like
She
people
should
were
have done
pointing
something
at her.
else.
And then all these people are very stiff upper lip, very English. Like, oh, sex doesn't exist. You know, head down, gun it for 2 seconds, and it's done, and then a baby's made. That's English people.
Jolly good.
So this woman, very, very stiff upper
Head
lip,
down, gunning for it. Sorry, I
put
just
her hand
caught
up,
that reference.
and she said, "Sorry, I have a question about fisting."
Don't we all?
At that point, I lost it, and her question was something really serious about the portrayal of fisting. But a question about fisting? What a way to start a question that you were so desperate.
I've got a question about fisting.
And her question wasn't "Can I?" or anything like that. Or
Should I?
should I? Would I? Could I? None of that.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
I just thought I'd drop that in there because it was very funny and the best thing that's ever happened to me at work.
What, you got fisted at work?
I didn't get fisted, no, but
Sorry,
I
too
found
easy.
out about fisting.
Right. That's great. I can't really go anywhere with that now.
And that's the end.
That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
We've been shut down. Spotify have blocked us. Let's do our actual topic then, I guess. After that ridiculous sidestep into the world of pornography, law, and fisting.
Yes.
So you've prepared for us, as I mentioned earlier, a list of 5 games each, or I think 6 for the Switch. Is that right?
Yep.
For Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and their upcoming exclusives. We're basically going to talk through them, whether or not we give a shit, and
Sort
well,
of
yeah,
when
that's
they'll
it.
come out, things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
go for it, mate.
So,
Kicking things off.
kicking things off with the Xbox. So these are just 5 games that are announced or, in one case, is heavily rumoured,
Yeah.
which means it exists. It
Near
just
enough
hasn't been
confirmed.
announced. They're not all the exclusives, because there are a lot of exclusives on each one, but these are sort of like the big ones, I think.
These are the headline hits.
The headlines. This is... I think we made a festival analogy in the last episode. So
We did. We'll do that at the end,
Yeah,
shall we?
let's
Because
do
it
it.
was quite a good little. Yeah.
So Xbox, and we'll go with the first one, Crackdown 3, which is actually coming out the 15th of February, which is, what, 11 days?
8 days.
8 days.
Mm.
I don't know time.
Yes.
Being
It's about
developed
the
by
4th, mate.
Sumo Digital. Segue a little bit. Just
Okay.
remembered why I spoke about Techland.
Okay, yeah. Why was that?
Well, Sumo Digital are also developing, supposedly,
Mm-hmm.
Dead Island 2.
Oh yeah, that was it. Correct.
Dead Island 1, done by Techland.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went off to do Dying Light.
Good game.
Dying Light 2, and there's also a Battle Royale Dying Light, which I think would be quite good, to be honest, but I think it's just on PC. Yeah, Dead
Typical.
Island 2's had a shocker of a development cycle. And yeah, I actually looked up a game from 2002 called Pet Soccer today, randomly, and it was made by Techland. They're a Polish company. But I just thought it was because we actually spoke about this. Like, we went off on a tangent similar today, yesterday, and it was just a very sort of one of those weird moments you have when sort of things just get connected.
The stars align,
Exactly.
and you realise that a game that you played when you
Anyway,
were 7 years old. is-
Crackdown 3, Sumo Digital have done everything under the sun. Virtua Tennis, all that lot.
Have they?
Yeah, they've done a lot. They're a UK company, actually.
Good lads. Called
So,
Sumo.
yeah.
Interesting.
They've been working on Crackdown 3 for a while.
So Crackdown is, correct me if I'm wrong, is it like a police simulator?
It's
Do you-
sort of like a police GTA in like a
Yeah,
very
GTA, but you're the
cartoon
quote-unquote-
stylized. I think it's shell shaded.
Cell shaded?
That's the one.
Easy for you to say. Yeah, you're quote unquote the good guys.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one has been. I think it was announced when the Xbox One was announced, to be honest, because it's been a while since Crackdown 2.
Yeah.
And they made this big malarkey about it connecting with the cloud, Microsoft's cloud, to enhance the performance of the game, especially during multiplayer, which I think they're having a GTA Online type of multiplayer. And
Fun.
destructible environments that saved on the servers through the cloud, so it's not taking up all your storage.
I think that's a good idea, but then surely within a couple of weeks everything will be gone because everyone will just destroy everything. And if
I
it's
don't know the exact details. But...
No, well, this is why it doesn't work, I guess, because no one really understands.
Well, yeah, but it's been delayed for a while, and I think it's just a case of just get it out there.
The weird thing for me with this, the fact that it's Crackdown 3, is that Crackdown was a series that was around in what, like the Xbox 360 sort of middle period when there was nothing too exciting.
Well, I think Crackdown was a launch title possibly for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, and it didn't set the world on fire as far as I remember. Well,
No.
why have they decided, maybe 10 or so years on to bring it back?
Well, I think they've had such a lack of exclusives in this era that I think it's just like and also it's been in development so long that it was probably only 4 years in between two of the Crackdown 2 and Crackdown 3, but the development cycle's just been so ridiculously long that it's just a case of same with Final Fantasy 15, just like get it out.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Like we've wasted so much money on this, we've promised it's coming. Let's just fucking get it out. Let's whip it out.
Oh,
slap it on the table and show everyone what we're on about.
Yeah, I like that.
You do.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but but I like the extended metaphor.
Good.
So Crackdown, unfortunately, off to a somewhat bad start because neither of us really give a shit.
I'm not going to play it, but I
no.
hope everyone enjoys it. I really do. I hope it's great because Xbox doesn't have a lot of good exclusives.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck personally.
So, and it's actually like the only one with a proper release date on here for Xbox.
There's a couple that you've got coming up in the list that I do hope are genuinely good, but that isn't one of them.
And also, they've got Terry Crews in the game, which that's quite cool.
What, in Crackdown 3?
He was in the advert. I don't know if he's going to be in the actual game. That'd be good. I can see that working. Him as a main character, just destroying shit.
Yeah.
In a cell-shaded world.
In a shell-shaded?
Shell-shaded.
Shell-shaded.
Yes.
Cool.
I can.
Okay, so Crackdown 3 is
sometimes.
coming in a week and a day. So, I don't know, get it if you like Crackdown.
If you like crack.
If you like crack and you want to get down.
Yes.
Game number 2 for the Xbox.
Game number 2. Gears of War 5. Done by the Coalition, who basically just make Gears of War. I can't remember what they were originally called.
I was going to say, I don't seem to remember that being the name of...
No, they changed the name because the Coalition is something within the Gears realm.
Oh, is it? So they've properly made themselves fully immersed in their own universe.
Was it Gearbox?
I like that.
No, Gearbox is Borderlands.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's slated to come out in 2019. Hasn't got a firm release date, but you can imagine that is an autumn game.
Yeah.
Or fall for our American cousins who quite literally took a season's name by what happens to leaves. They fall.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, just on this note, I've just noticed that Gears of War is created or was created by Epic Games. I had no idea.
Yeah, because it's
that's
Unreal
mad.
Engine.
That is absolutely
I think
crazy.
It was based on the Unreal Tournament.
Huh. Well, and just to go back to what you were saying a second ago, so the Coalition have been known as Zipline Studios, Microsoft Vancouver, and Black Tusk.
Black Tusk.
It looks like they were called Black Tusk for the most part of the... Yeah, so Gears of War started in 2014, and that's when
so
they
it
were
was
called
Epic,
Black
and then I
Tusk.
think it went to Coalition or something.
How funny. I did not know that was Epic.
I never played... I did play Gears of War 1. Never finished it, because it wasn't mine. I did have Gears of War 2 back on my Xbox 360 when I was an Xbox kid. That was my first and only Xbox console. Gears of War 2, one of my shout-outs for my top 10 games.
Yep.
Amazing game, amazing story. Seems to have lost its way a little bit in recent years. There's just been sort of new title after new title. Like the last game was just called Gears 4, bit of an identity crisis, but
it's never
having
good.
seen the trailer, it does look good. And I think for the first time you play as a female lead, which
nice.
could be quite interesting.
Well,
we
2019,
we love women.
We do.
So
actually, that was something I mentioned yesterday, and I'm going to bring it up again now, is the fact that to talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, again, like if I get stuck on something or I need help finding, whatever it may be, I'll occasionally Google something. If I've been trying for too long and I'm like, fuck it, I need to get on with this game, I'll Google it or YouTube it or whatever. It's disgusting how many people are playing as Alexios when Cassandra is clearly the more interesting choice.
Well, yeah,
Have we not had enough? It was the same with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where you played half of it as probably 75% of it as Jacob, 25% as Evie. Evie's storyline and her missions were so much more interesting than Jacob's. And it's like, are we not bored of just playing as
whenever
men?
I've seen it, I've always heard people talking about it, and they're playing as the lady
Cassandra.
But then I think Ubisoft released the statistics, and I think it was like 75% of people playing as men.
Yeah, it's
just because
madness.
I guess there is like the people who play these kind of games, it probably does actually work out to be like around 60-70% men, 30% women, because it's been a boys' club sort of thing
I'd
for
probably
a while.
say it's even more than that, to be honest. I'd say it's more in favour of men.
So I guess people like to play as themselves, or like the image of themselves, like see themselves as a tough guy. But you know.
I wonder what the percentage of men who actually look like Alexios playing that game.
Exactly. But the thing is, it's like strong female leads is like, I know a lot of people will say like all that snowflake and like being PC and stuff. It's not even that. It's just nice to see a different side of it. I've just played a whole game as Aloy in Horizon, and she's a very good character. I like playing as her.
She's got a weird voice.
There's some weird voices in there, but and then like Ellie in like Last of Us, just just.
And I literally can't think of any others, which is part of the problem, really, isn't it?
Well, you got Bayonetta, Nier Automata, which we'll talk
get
about
into that
both later. But yeah,
okay, just wanted to throw that out there, really, didn't we?
Yeah, so
underrepresentation.
Females in games, exactly.
Oh, Heavenly Sword, but that was only like one game.
I mean, there is females in games, but
Fat Princess.
Obviously, it's still like a. I think the thing about females in games is that a lot of people use it as an advertising point. It's like, look at our strong female character. But it shouldn't be that, because you don't see people being like, look at our strong man. You're just like, this is our bloke. He's pretty cool, isn't he?
you know, play as him.
It just shouldn't be an advertising point. Like,
shouldn't be a point, should it?
Exactly. It's just be like, look at our character.
Yeah.
Pretty cool,
we're very forward thinking here at Top Chat HQ. It's 2019. Wake the fuck up.
We are a woke podcast.
Gears of War 5 then. I hope it's good, because the Gears series is a game, or is a franchise rather, that I have always kind of wanted on PlayStation. I generally speaking don't like third-person shooters.
Switch.
Well, yeah, might be on Switch. But yeah, I generally speaking don't like third-person shooters, to be honest. But something about Gears just looks quite good.
It sort of pioneered the third-person cover-based shooter, because it's very much like run to cover, and enemies die quite slowly, but very good franchise.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think your third entry is an even better franchise.
Well, that's debatable.
Oh, no, it's not debatable.
Oh, that's very debatable.
It's not debatable.
The third entry is the Halo franchise, which I think is Halo 6. What's called Halo Infinite by 343 Industries. Again, the Halo creators since, I think, Halo 4 or Halo 3 ODST or Halo Reach. I don't know. And that's the problem.
Halo developers.
I just furiously wagged my finger to the microphone.
At the microphone, you're just blaming the poor little microphone.
But that's the problem, is what is going on with the Halo franchise as well. It's even more of a mess, I think.
It's lost its way.
I don't know what it's on. There's been this like yearly, and then there's like Reach and
I was going to say they dabbled in RTS and stuff, and it just I mean, it lost its way as soon as Bungie left, to be honest. I think there's been one or two 343 games that people have somewhat enjoyed.
I think they're not like terrible, but from like the flagship franchise. I mean, when you look at like Halo, maybe in my opinion, it's not the best Xbox franchise, but it is the most popular.
Halo 1, 2, and 3 are some of the best shooters ever made, especially Halo 2. Halo 2 is.
Well,
anyway.
I've got a controversial opinion on that. So
can that for now.
So Halo, undoubtedly the biggest franchise for Xbox, and then I think the game's probably getting like 7s or 8s when they're being released. They're a bit like the online's not
what it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone's going home like, I'm going to go play Halo 5 online.
Hours.
No one's really doing that anymore.
No, they're not.
But then you look at like PS4's top franchise, which is probably Uncharted, and all those games, like people are like, oh, Uncharted 4 wasn't as good. It got like a 9.7 out of 10, when all the others have got like 10s. Like, so that's kind of the quality that you should be expecting from these first-party studios.
Yeah, like the AAA headline titles for each console.
But maybe Halo Infinite will be a return to form, and I reckon
Mm-hmm.
it's the next box, Xbox 2, Xbox 720, Scarlet, whatever you bloody want to call it. I think it's the code name, the project
Oh, right,
name.
okay, yeah.
I think that'll be a launch game. Get
It
your
would
biggest
make sense.
franchise.
And
on
Master
there.
Chief is back, so it
Yeah.
would make sense.
Get your biggest franchise out there.
Well, there's a hot take. Let's see if it
Yeah.
comes true.
Hasn't got a release date as well, so, and I think it was only teased at E3, so
It seems likely.
good few years
It's-
out yet.
yeah. I don't think that's too much of a far-fetched idea. I think that's potential.
I think they just reinvent it a little bit. Just go with the times.
No.
So all the gameplay I've seen of other Halos has just been like, oh, that looks like Halo 3, which is
Good.
the only Halo I played.
Yeah, but Halo 3 was good.
Yeah, but it's also very old now.
Don't care. It's still good.
Yeah, but
A good game will remain good. It won't like.
No, yeah, but no, yeah, no.
No,
It can remain
will.
good in its time, but it's like if Call of Duty like stayed Call of Duty 4 the entire time.
Yeah, the player base probably would have got a bit bored if it was the exact same.
Like,
yeah,
this-
but
you can only have so much of a good thing. You just got to reiterate a little bit.
yeah, that's kind of
Or
a different
iterate,
point.
rather.
I would say that's kind of a different point because Halo 2 and 3 remain good games. Like the fact that their sequels have not been as good doesn't change the fact.
Yeah, but
that the
to
early games
core,
are still
they're like
good.
the same. No, I'm not saying. Okay, whatever.
Well,
I think
Halo's better than Gears.
an
So.
overrated franchise.
Oh,
So-
that's a controversial corner that you've dropped in a
Yeah.
very weird place.
Yeah, well, while we're talking about it, do you know what? I did like the Halo 3 story.
Oh, I never really played this. I never had an
just didn't like
Xbox,
it
so I just
online.
played
I really
split
didn't
screen.
like it online.
Fair enough. Number 4.
Number 4 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps by Moon Studios, which also has an ambiguous 2019 release date.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about this game then, and it's
This is the sequel to
Precursor.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Mhm.
Very stylized sort of 2.5D game. Won numerous Game of the Years, and as we saw yesterday, a BAFTA.
Yeah, a BAFTA
So,
for
very well received.
design or something.
So,
Art direction?
style, probably something like that. It does. It's
Yeah.
a very good looking game.
It's an art house kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's kind of like an in-house indie that Microsoft are taking on. Not necessarily the biggest game, but
What actually
When
is
you've
type of game is it? Is it puzzle? Is it RPG? Is
like
it
a
adventure?
like a adventure platformy,
Okay.
one of those kind of games. Just a bit.
Okay.
It looks a bit chill. Looks nice.
Looks a bit chill. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never played it, but
Shame it's only on Xbox really because
Yeah, exactly.
there's not too.
But it's
no, there are.
It's
to be
not
fair.
something that would make me buy an Xbox.
No.
No matter if this one, it's not a AAA. It's not.
No,
It's
but it
probably
looks
about,
interesting.
It does look interesting.
It's double A or is it single A?
It's probably double A, I reckon. It's probably
Mm,
about
double A.
30, 40 quid.
A.
You know, there's good quality to it.
Yeah.
So, probably spending quite a lot of money on it, considering they probably earn a lot of money as well.
True. You just said that game wouldn't make you buy an Xbox, but I think the last one on your list potentially would. Is that fair to say?
It would indeed.
Because
Well,
it is.
If I had money.
If you had money, yeah, of
If I
course.
had money.
Because it is.
Fable 4, which hasn't actually been announced, but
Yeah.
from my sources known as Google.
And ketchup.
Okay.
Sauce.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you've done there.
Thank you. HP.
Yeah. Let me
my-
just
shall
wipe
I
that
just-
tear out my eye.
Should I just controversial corner it really quickly?
Go on then.
Fable's crap. Very much an overrated series. It's boring.
Well,
The art style is disgusting.
oh no, it's nice.
And the guy that creates the games is a bit of a
Very
prick.
gothic. He used to make the games.
Well, the
And
guy
then,
who
and then he
created
started
the
waving
series.
at little virtual boys on Connect, and then that went well, didn't it?
Waving at little boys always goes well.
Waving at Milo. Milo, you little cat.
Hey, no, you can say that's fine.
I mean, we've talked about fisting. Like,
We
at this
talked about
point,
fisting. We can say
anything goes.
cunt. Yeah.
We can't actually upload this to YouTube. This is going up on Pornhub.
Yeah. Community created. That's a thing on Pornhub, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't look up Pornhub.
Well, I mean, neither do I, but I think you... dig.
This new one is being done by Playground Games, who did the Forza Horizon series.
Interesting sidestep for them.
Indeed, but I think they did the latest one, which is Horizon 4. I think the one that's set in Edinburgh or Glasgow, one of those Scotland places. And it looks nice. And Fable's sort of set in like a medieval England, just with a bit of a gothic style to it. But yeah,
you say
again,
gothic, I'd say shit.
goth shit.
Goth shit style.
Like Gears and Halo, and possibly Crackdown as well. Franchise that needs a bit of rejuvenation.
Yeah, it definitely does.
The last mainline release was Fable 3, and then there was like Fable Legends, which I think was a card game. Then there was going to be like a free-to-play Fable, which got cancelled. So this needs to be good, I think. I mean, it's kind of lucky that Fable's coming back by the sounds of it, because I don't think Fable 3 was set the world alight. Fable 2 was definitely the most popular. I think Fable 3 must have been 2012.
I remember, I think Fable 2 being a massive thing when it was released.
Yeah, I had Fable 2. It was great.
So Fable 3 came out in 2010.
2010?
So it has been...
Oh, well, actually, that makes sense, because Fable 1 wasn't on 360. It was
just PC, wasn't it?
It was Xbox original.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Fable 2 was like 2008, I think.
Fable 2 was 2008.
Such a good game. So, yeah.
What
Xbox looking like, hopefully, their franchise is coming back to form. And I also think Fable 4 will be a launch title with Halo on the next box. Perhaps maybe a couple months after, something like that. You don't want both of them at the same time, too. Because those are the three biggest franchises are in there: Gears, Halo, and Fable. Yeah. Well, maybe Forza as well. But that's going strong. Forza's pretty solid.
Yeah, Forza's never really dipped. To be honest. Forza's great.
Racing games. Everyone's got one. You know.
Racing games will probably
Gran Turismo and Mario Kart as well.
Yeah, Mario. Yeah, Gran Turismo.
The best
Mario
of all
Kart.
of them, to be honest.
And Forza. Yeah. My personal opinions on that: none of those games would make me want to buy an Xbox, except from Halo Infinite. But I don't like Halo enough to buy an Xbox.
You got Destiny as well, which is future Halo, not future Halo, but I mean like in our time.
Well,
future.
I've fallen out of love with Destiny, so kind of can't really relate it to that personally.
We'll
but
see when Destiny 3 comes out.
Destiny 3 will be next year, I think. But
you'll be pre-ordering that bad boy.
Well, honestly, no, I won't.
Destiny's Creed, the mashup of the century.
That would be awful. So that's Xbox's list. I personally, I don't want to sound like a massive Sony PlayStation fanboy, because even though I know I am one, yeah, screw it, I'm going to sound like one. To me, that list is pretty poor.
Well, seeing as we've looked at the PS4 list,
I like Halo, and I like, well, I've never really played Gears, but I like the look of it. I like the idea. Crackdown, I feel like that's almost like the equivalent of if Sony, for me at least, if Sony said, "Oh, we're going to do another Time Splitters," except from Time Splitters was a much better series. It's like, why are you bringing that back? It's ancient and people have moved on. Ori and the whatever has a nice design to it, but I mean, it's just an indie game, and I don't like Fable. That's my 2 cents.
See, if Halo comes out and it's something special, then that's good. But I also think
it will be.
Well, if Gears pulled a God of War on us, 10 out of 10s. Because God of War, that was also a franchise. Like, do you need to bring that back? Like, it was alright. People liked it enough.
That's a good point.
But then now it's like you've got to play God of War. Yeah. But if that's like you've got to play Gears of War 5. But we'll see.
Good point, well made.
We'll see, because nothing particularly excites me on that list. But also, I think Xbox has got a lot in the works. They announced so many studios they've just bought.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the name of that blooming studio that I always forget the name of?
What did they make?
They made Fallout 76.
Was it not Bethesda that made Fallout 76?
No, this was the one they licensed it to.
Oh. It just says Bethesda. Bethesda.
Oh, sorry. Fallout 76. Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, Fallout New Vegas.
Idiot. Of course Bethesda made Fallout 76 because it's shit.
Fallout New Vegas was developed
Obsidian.
by...
I didn't even look. I remembered it. Obsidian. So Microsoft have bought Obsidian, who have got a game coming out called Outer Worlds, which looks incredible. More thoughts on that as it develops, because they're doing a big info dump. Yeah. That looks like what Fallout should be.
They're doing a big dump.
Incredible. They're doing a big dump.
They made the South Park game. They made the Stick of Truth. That's interesting.
So Microsoft has bought them, Obsidian.
So they have.
So
November last year. So quite recent, that.
Yeah.
We're only 4 months late to that
Outer
news.
Worlds isn't going to be exclusive to Xbox, because it was already in the works for like PlayStation by the time they bought them. So just like, let it go. But possibly like Outer Worlds 2, if Outer Worlds is a success, or whatever else they're working on.
It does look very sexy.
It looks great. I can't wait for
the
that.
Outer Worlds. Should we move on to
Let's move on.
Nintendo's list?
Nintendo. And the whole list is Nintendogs and brain training.
And Nintendo cats.
Yes.
Wasn't there another Nintendo? There was another like pets game, wasn't there?
Oh, there was so much, because it was just all like sort of expansions. Well, it wasn't even expansions. It was just like Nintendogs Labrador
breeds,
and Nintendo Poodle.
Now you can have a sausage dog.
Oh, what a waste of time that was, picking up poo with a stylus. Jesus.
Picking up poo with a stylus. That's what you buy a DS for, kids.
Yeah. Anyway, the first one on the list. Again, not officially announced. Well, it has been announced it's coming, but no title yet. Is Pokemon.
Whoop, whoop.
Generation 8?
Yep.
Nailed it. And
you did.
Game Freak, the developer, are also releasing another game this year called Town, which also doesn't have a release date, but I presume that's going to be before, so perhaps summer, something like that. Which looks interesting. It's got very similar art style to like Let's Go. It takes place in a town. You're fighting these monsters. Similar fighting mechanics to Pokemon. It looks quite interesting, but obviously not Pokemon. So Pokemon. Take it away, Pokemon man. Pokemon.
Well,
Pokemon. I'm gonna stop.
Pokemon's terrible. I don't really know what to say about it. There's not too much I can say, because you can't really predict what Game Freak are going to do with Pokemon, other than there'll be probably about 100 new Pokemon. It'll be a new region. It'll be based on a real life location. Half the Pokemon will look good, half of them will look crap. They'll probably introduce some sort of new mechanics, so like in Gen 3, which is my favourite generation, but still they had the terrible contests. In Gen 7, they mixed up the gym formula and they had trials, which were they were okay. I don't know if they'll bring them back. What else have they had? They've done like Battle Frontiers and things like that, just end game stuff. So there'll be something. They always try something new. Whether or not it works remains to be seen. But yeah, I don't really have any hopes. Don't really have any fears.
What do you reckon on the popular consensus that this is going to be finally the true 3D open world free roam Pokemon, that like proper RPG Pokemon? That's the word I'm looking for.
But when you say that, what do you mean by proper RPG? Because it already is an RPG. It's just instead of leveling up yourself, you level up a team of 6.
It's like an open world RPG. Like, cause as I said, Pokemon is it's open world, but when you actually like lay the map out or whatever, it's very small.
Oh yeah, they're not big games.
What I'm saying is like the Breath of the Wild Pokemon that people seem to be wanting and are reckoning that they're going to do.
Well,
not much of a fan, are you?
Not really, no. But just because I don't know how it would work.
You're just terrified of change.
Just
give me that little 2.5D 45 degree angle, as you said yesterday.
Yeah, 45
camera.
degree. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about because I can't conceptualise it in my head, because probably because I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I don't really know. I'm guessing you mean just like you could be walking down a desert and then all of a sudden a sandshrew will pop up or whatever, and then you go into a woodland and then, oh look, there's Scyther, to keep it Gen 1.
Yeah.
So that you understand. But like, I don't know. I just don't really... I don't see how it would work. Because it doesn't sound that different to me Because it's like Pokemon only appear in the tall grass, yeah,
So-
but that's because otherwise every 5 seconds you'd be stopped and you'd have to have a fight with something or you'd have to run. And that just interrupts gameplay and it gets annoying.
Let me show you a little
People
picture.
actively avoid tall grass well, I mean, I do, generally speaking, because it's easy enough to just beat other trainers and win the game. You don't really have to do wilds.
Yeah, but I like I don't know if this has been any of the other Pokemon's since that's not the right way of saying that.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go, or did play it. And
Oh, I need to send you... I've got a Vulpix for you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is... I need to... Thanks. I need to send you that because I want more Meltan.
Trying to fill out my Pokédex.
They've just released shiny Meltan on Pokemon Go.
Have they?
Yeah.
That's
It's...
interesting.
You know his little red tail?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Wow.
That's about it.
That's interesting.
Game Freak's shinies are either amazing or indistinguishable.
I didn't even know that there were shinies in the game on Let's Go anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
Let's Go, you can see all the Pokemon. I don't know if that's been in previous Pokemon games.
No, that's new to Let's Go because I've seen...
I love that. That's awesome. Like, you can see what's there. You don't have to, like...
I do and I don't.
Guess.
It doesn't really make
Because, I mean,
sense.
I literally... My Pokemon experience has been Pokemon Red, Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah, that's just barbaric.
Is it? Well, anyway, let me show you. Let me show you a little picture.
Okay, little screenshot
This is what
time.
I'm thinking.
Not for you at home, just
No.
for me. This one.
Let me show you a little picture.
But to me, that doesn't look that far fetched from what we have.
It does.
Not only is that the second time I've said far fetched in this podcast, but I also said it yesterday accidentally as a pun, and I've just done it again because, of course, far fetched has a bird Pokemon that carries a leek in its mouth, which is just called Stick. Item stick. Description: a stick carried by Farfetch'd.
It's not a stick though, is it?
It's a leek.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah, but it's just called Stick. I'm pretty sure it is anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, that to me doesn't look really that different from what we already have.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of there being constant wilds because then you've either got to avoid them or just, I don't know, it just looks a bit messy to me. And like we
Well-
already have biomes because it's like I said a second ago, if you go into a desert area, you'll get desert Pokemon. I don't know. I don't think it's that much of a far cry from what exists. There's another
Okay.
kind of gaming
Interesting.
pun in there.
Well,
Far Cry.
we'll see what happens because it's long been rumoured that there's going to be a bit of a breakout from the formula that
From the
currently
formula.
exists
I mean, yeah,
with the Pokemon
it's just a
games.
difficult one for me because I can't really visualise it. But anyway,
Well,
next game.
we'll
'Cause
see. We'll see.
yeah, that was a long time chatting about Pokemon.
Next one is what we spoke about last week, Metroid Prime 4, which we spoke about last week. Retro Studios now, and very ambiguous as to when it's going to be released. Probably at least 2 or 3 years because they scrapped everything. We haven't got much interest in the Metroid series, but I know it's very popular. I remember, I think, watching the Nintendo Direct and the big 4 popped up, and everyone was like, "Yes!" I was like, "Oh,
What is this? Yeah,
yeah." So
not fussed.
Metroid Prime 4 coming to a Nintendo Switch near you.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Who knows?
So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, not much to say about that.
Yeah. Next one is Bayonetta 3, like Platinum Games, who have been in the news for cancelling another game.
Oh, really?
Literally yesterday, I think.
Oh.
So they've previously cancelled Xbox exclusive Scalebound, which would have been a very interesting one to look at
It
had
would
it
have
not
been.
been cancelled. But Bayonetta 3, which I think they released both Bayonetta remasters on Nintendo Switch about a year ago, which is obviously to gauge a bit of interest into Bayonetta 3, and obviously there was enough.
Yeah, it was enough that they thought they'd just make the sequel.
Yeah, so we'll see how
Have
that goes.
you ever played it?
I've never played
No,
it.
neither
I
have
think
I.
well, that's the thing.
We're not very good at this.
I'm a very much a new Nintendo fan.
You are, yeah, and I'm not really. I like Nintendo. I like their consoles, but I've never actually owned one. Like, I've never had a Wii or a GameCube. Or...
I had a Game Boy.
I've got a DS, got a 3DS, but that's it. Oh, and yeah, Game Boy. I had a Game Boy.
Game Boy and a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I had a DS back in the day.
Personally, Bayonetta is one of those kind of like Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden type
Yeah.
games that don't really interest me.
I'm not really interested in like Japanese games.
Like learning combos and pulling off stunts
Combos.
and sexy kills, and it's just
She's got nice hair. Big hair.
Lovely hair, nice glasses too. Nice to see a bit of four-eye representation.
Yeah. Underrepresentation.
We're underrepresented, four-eyed people.
Yeah.
I can't see without my specs.
Yeah.
I do actually wear glasses, by the way. I'm not just being a massive prick.
Japanese games don't particularly interest me that much, but
nah.
It's cool to see an exclusive that isn't like a Mario, you know?
Because it wasn't
bit of an adult Nintendo.
It wasn't originally exclusive, was it?
I think it was exclusive on Wii. I think it was a Wii exclusive.
It was a Wii game?
Yeah.
No.
I remember it coming out on Wii.
Let's have a look at this. But
have a look. But
that's a good point about it being a more grown-up exclusive.
Yeah, because even like Breath of the Wild, it's still cartoonized, but you don't really see many sort of...
Bayonetta was on PS3.
Was it?
Yeah, PS3, PC, 360. I don't even know if it was even on a Nintendo console. I don't think it was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, like you said a minute ago, it's available for the Switch, but I think other than that... Oh, it was later released on the Wii U. So no, originally, it wasn't released on anything. It was released on the Wii U a few years after it was released for the PS3 and the 360.
Maybe Bayonetta 2?
Chatting out your ass, mate. Yeah, the Bayonetta 2 came out on the Wii U. See, that's why I did.
Was it Wii U exclusive?
Yes, supposedly. I think. Is that what this is? Oh no, multi-platform.
Right, well...
Oh, no. Yeah, it was. Unlike Bayonetta, which was
there
multi-platform.
we go, see, I'm not going crazy.
See, that explains, though, why I didn't even realise that we were on to Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that 2 even existed.
Such a weird thing to do, is to sort of series put it exclusive. I think Mass Effect was like... Mass Effect 1 wasn't on PS3 originally, and then Mass Effect 2 was.
That makes more sense.
A weird one. Anyway,
I guess it must have sold better on the Wii U than it did on...
Or maybe just
whatever.
Nintendo paid a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, the next one. The only Nintendo game with a release date. Because they do need a Direct, which should have been in January. Perhaps we'll get one in February. With some release dates to see what Nintendo are actually doing this year.
Because who knows at this rate?
Yeah, exactly. Because we're picking at straws here.
No one really knows what Sony are doing either.
But this is probably the only one, maybe apart from Pokemon. Because I'm not really sure if we'll get Pokemon. Because
you probably will.
I'm a Gen 1 guy, aren't I? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
we'll see.
You probably will get it.
We'll see.
I don't see why not.
So the one that I will get is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Still annoyed that you call him Yoshi, apparently, because his name is Yoshi.
Yoshi.
It's just Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yoshi. So what is Yoshi's Crafted World? Tell us.
Well,
tell the children.
Looks like a sequel to Yoshi's Woolly World, which was on Wii U a few years ago.
And what is that?
It is like a
sequel to.
It's Yoshi. It's
who
platforming along. It's sort of 3D graphics, but you're playing in a 2D space, I guess.
Okay.
With your little eggs behind you, by the looks of it. Yoshi.
Just fun with that little green guy.
Yeah, I remember having Yoshi's Island on, I think, Game Boy Advance. Can't quite remember, but I loved it. Wasn't very good at it because basically all I played on my Game Boy was like Pokemon Red and Micro Machines and Army Men. I think I had. Which is it's very fun playing a game with like just a directional pad and 2 buttons.
Yeah, not the kind of thing you want to be playing. Micro Machines, that's a shout. Great games.
That was a top
great
down
game.
Trying to play, figure out with your little child.
I was going to say, can you imagine going back to it now? It'd be impossible.
Did you ever have the little what's the word for something that makes things bigger when
magnifying glass?
Yes, the
Jesus
magnifying
Christ.
glass that you put over the screen. You put it over the screen and then you turn the light on because Game Boys didn't have a backlight. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember them not having a backlight?
Oh, I remember them not having a backlight because when I got an Advance SP and it did, and it was like, oh my god, it's got a backlight. But the Game Boy Color?
Yeah.
I didn't have this magnifying thing.
And Game Boy Advance didn't have a backlight.
I didn't have the original.
The SP did probably.
Yeah. I didn't have the original Advance.
But no, you put this little. It was a peripheral.
Yes.
This little magnifying glass flipped
peripheral
over, so it like made the screen bigger for you, and then press a little button. The lights come on and shine on the screen. So when you're sneakily playing,
oh mate,
so having a little pokey session.
The amount of hours I put into Pokemon
10 o'clock
Ruby
at night after you're supposed to be in bed at 8.
Jesus Christ.
Or in a car journey. when you're trying to play it with the lights going by.
I'm on a nostalgia trip right now.
Yeah.
Oh goodness me.
Oh, my yellow Game Boy. But then the problem was I needed batteries for my light and batteries for my Game Boy. The fucking things we went through. Jesus
I know.
Christ.
These kids these days.
And now
Are we millennials or the next lot? We're millennials.
No, we're millennials.
What's the next lot? These ones that are growing up playing Fortnite and sending each other dick pics on Snapchat. What are they? Are they Gen X?
No, I think Gen X and Gen Y, that's a different thing.
Well, that's Pokemon Generation 6.
Well, we're definitely millennials. And I've got beef with this. Anyone born... I'd maybe say you're a 90s kid. A little bit.
Oh,
I think
I'd say you are as well.
No, I think 94 was the cut-off. Because, like, 95, I was 5.
Well, there's only 3 months between us, so that's
so.
kind of pointless.
Yeah, but around us is the cut-off between 90s kids and millennials. Because 90s kids are people who are born in the 80s, really, because they actually grew up in the 90s. Like, I've heard people, I'm born in 99, I'm a 90s kid.
That's just shocking behaviour.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care that much, to be honest. But I basically grew up in the 90s till about 2006 anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, nothing really changed, did it? I feel like
Exactly.
from like 99 to sort of 2007,
well,
everything was just recycled.
Exactly.
It was all just SpongeBob.
Oh, what a show. Anyway.
Well, not a bad impression, I thought. Considering I've never actually tried that before.
Our
I don't know why I
Johnny
just decided.
Has got a very good SpongeBob
yeah, he
one.
does do a good SpongeBob, yeah.
Anyway.
Oi, get down. Come and do it.
It is also, by the way, it's 1 in the morning.
And he's right above us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny.
So we're recording this at 1 in the morning.
And I need to be up for work in 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's not like the managing directors from Switzerland are coming to visit. Oh, wait. They are.
See, I told you, all he talks about is watches. I said that in my video the other day.
You did. You roasted me.
Next, Animal Crossing. Again, just a 2019 release date.
Give a fuck.
There's a better farming simulator.
Is there?
Yes,
what,
there is.
farming simulator?
No.
Tractor simulator?
Not even that.
Go on.
Stardew Valley, which is more of a Harvest Moon simulator, but still, just, it's superb. And I don't think Animal Crossing's gonna set the world on light for me. I know my girlfriend likes Animal Crossing. She's probably playing it right now. She just whacked out her DS, which I bought for a 3DS for the first time in a while.
Nice.
Which is weird because I spoke about it in the podcast yesterday, which we had to scrap. And then went upstairs and she was playing it.
I need to get mine
weird.
when I go home this weekend. I need to get it because, as I've said numerous times on this podcast, I don't actually know where it is, and I would quite like it.
I lost my DS once. Heartbreaking. My older brother, I think, we went to Disneyland Paris and he stayed at home and had a house party, and I think someone stole it.
That's really funny.
So I've never been into the Animal Crossing games. Like,
No.
I ain't got time for that. Like, actually, I've got more to say about this now because so my girlfriend was playing.
She
You
were about
woman
to,
was
her
playing.
upstairs.
A woman,
No, her indoors. I hate that. Oh, her indoors.
woman was playing a DS. She's got a 3DS, but she's playing the DS version of the game. Don't know which one that is. Let's just go with Animal Crossing 5. What a guess that's going to be.
I bet there haven't even been that many.
And it's one of those things. It's like Tamagotchi. She went into her house and because she hadn't played it in a while, there was like cockroaches everywhere and she had to fix shit.
That sounds good.
Why is that
That
good?
sounds like that Marie Kondo show on
I
Netflix.
have to deal with cockroaches in my room.
No,
I don't really.
we don't have cockroaches in the UK.
But anyway, I don't want to clean.
You've got cockroaches
I
in
can't
your
even clean up
room.
in real life. I don't want to clean up in a game.
Yeah, fair enough. I would say that's a solid list.
That's all right.
It's better than the Xbox list. It's a very much.
I'd say just because of Pokemon.
Yoshi. No, actually, yeah. To be fair, no, you're right. Thinking about it, I don't care about
I think
Metroid,
it's a
Bayonetta, or Animal Crossing.
Solid Nintendo
I think
lineup.
what I mean by that is, from my point of view, it's maybe equal in terms of how much I'm actually interested in, but in terms of quality, I feel like Pokemon, Metroid, Animal Crossing, and then maybe the other two to a certain extent are more critically acclaimed than, for example, the Crackdown series.
Yes.
And recent Halo and Gears games.
I just don't think it's as good
Xbox
as...
have got more work to do to actually redeem themselves, whereas Nintendo look like they're just doing par for the course.
Well, these all are probably, apart from Metroid, coming out this year.
Yeah.
But It's definitely a full year, I think, for Nintendo, because the first year they had Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. Then last year they had Smash and Let's Go and Tennis Aces and Kirby All Stars and Captain Toad and Donkey Kong Country and whatever.
All sorts.
Yeah. But
well, let's move on to the
a little bit threadbare. Maybe what they need, I reckon, is just an announcement. Like put Mario Maker in there or Mario Kart 9. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, or a big Mario Kart 8
let's move on to the undoubtedly the best list.
Why we're all here.
It just is. I'm sorry, but it just is.
I'm gonna start somewhere else.
Okay, you start where you want, mate.
Let's start with what is undoubtedly the least interesting. Well, actually, I wouldn't say least interesting, but
for us,
Dreams coming out some point this year.
That's the name of the game, by the way. Dreams.
Medium Molecule, Little Big Planet 1 and 2. Tearaway, very good pedigree. Haven't done a game in a while. Tearaway looked interesting. They do a lot of interesting things in the game, and Dreams is no different. 'Cause you basically make what you want. You make games within games.
Yeah.
Sort of an expansion on the Little Big Planet idea, but what is the game?
Well, this is the
play?
thing. For me personally, I don't understand it. I think it's too ambitious for its own good. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't think it will end up being as ambitious as it wants to be. If that makes sense. I feel like it's this grandiose idea, and how, like, the idea of Dreams is like, if you can dream it, you can do it. And it's like, well, yes, but it's a video game. It needs limitations.
I think one thing that's cool about it is that
doesn't interest me.
The tools that the developers use to make it are all going to be in the game. So feasibly, you can do what you want.
Yeah, but I'm not a game programmer.
No,
I'm not.
Exactly.
I don't
the only
know.
reason I play it would be to play other people's stuff if it was really interesting, but I don't know.
Oh well.
I don't know. It seems
We're
like a
not
bit of
fussed
work.
about Dreams,
No.
but it's, I don't know, it's interesting, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But what I said yesterday, PS Plus game. Just release it as a PS Plus game. I think that'd be quite interesting, because then you get all these people in making the stuff, and then you can advertise all this stuff that's been made, and then you get people in that way. Anyway,
not fast.
Moving on to bigger
less.
and better things.
Yes.
Sucker Punch with Ghost of Tsushima. A game
Now
that's
you're
set
talking.
sometime between 14th and 17th century, so they just thrown everything in at once.
We should
in
say
Japan. Feudal Japan.
Yep.
Playing as a samurai.
Yep. Nice.
Sucker Punch.
It's not a period that anyone's really gone to before.
Not particularly.
Dynasty Warriors is set way earlier in time than that. We've not had an Assassin's game there.
Supposed to have, though. There was an in-game leak in Assassin's Creed, wasn't there?
This game looks great, in my opinion.
As
Graphically, it's stunning, and it just looks pretty like that gameplay trailer at E3. It just looked pretty. It was quite visceral. It was pretty bleak. It was aggressive. It just looked really fucking cool.
Yeah,
and that's about it for me.
I mean, they haven't done anything for a while. Sucker Punch.
Do you know what I've just realised, actually?
Infamous series.
In this list, I should probably save this for the end, but in this list, there's 4 of these PlayStation games are IPs. They are brand new ideas. None of the Xbox games are. None of the Nintendo games are.
That's a very good point, Matthew.
I've only just
I think
realised
that is Sony. You know, they've given their developers a bit of trust. You know, like
they have.
Guerrilla, just all they'd done was Killzone, and they're like, you know what?
Make Horizon.
Go make a game about robot dinosaurs.
Why not? Who doesn't want that?
But then,
and you're the perfect guys for it.
And you look at sort of Xbox. This isn't a dig, but like the Coalition have done like 3 Gears of War games, and 343 have done like 3 or 4 Halo games.
They're not doing enough to mix it up.
Exactly.
They're not stepping out their comfort zone.
That's
even though the comfort.
Point.
Thanks. I'm quite pleased with that.
Fucking games journalist over here.
I know, right?
Only 20 past 1 in the morning. He's making ridiculous observations.
We're an hour and 20 in, and I've just made an absolutely stunning point.
That's very good.
I'm going to leave you to finish now. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's going to
see you later. That probably sounds great.
It's going to be interesting to see how these perform. Seeing as Yeah.
Do you know what made me realise though? Is because when I was thinking, what can we say about Ghost of Tsushima? All I can say about it is that it looks great because we don't know much about it. And then I thought, oh, what am I going to say about the rest of the PlayStation games? Oh wait, we don't know anything about any of them because they're all IPs. Yeah. They're all brand new ideas. So all we can really say is they look so good. And
well, it does look
and that's
good.
kind of anti the good journalism that I just
Sony
did.
has got so much trust that new IP, it shouldn't even matter.
So
they'll just be like,
yeah,
money.
Give it a try. So tell me about another one.
I'll tell you about another one.
Mm-hmm.
The only one with a release date.
Mm-hmm.
26th of April.
Not too long.
Days Gone.
Oh yeah.
Sony Bend.
Ooh,
who
yeah.
have not done anything for a long time. I think the last thing they did was Uncharted Golden Abyss on Vita. So
okay. What are they called? Sony Bend?
Sony Bend or Bend Studio.
What
I think
a
they
weird...
just changed the name to.
What a very weird name for a game development studio. But yeah, so this is Days Gone, which is
motorbike
a survival
zombie mashup with lots of zombies on the screen at once.
Lots of sorry, what was that? What were you pointing
at?
Never mind. Siphon filter, is that what you wanted to say?
No.
Sorry, I just looked up who Bend were just out of interest, and it said they made Siphon Filter.
Yeah, they had lots of handheld games.
So yeah, so you
this is their big chance.
This is but like you say, trust from
exactly.
Sony.
There's a big chance. You know, this is their first big exclusive of the year. So I think this is going to be a bit of a sleeper hit. Like obviously everyone knows it because it's PlayStation, but I think it's going to surprise a few people. You know, zombies.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird to have two first party working on a zombie game, or freakers or whatever they're called in this.
Yeah,
but
freakers.
This is a completely different game. It's open world, like it's based around motorbike gangs, and like sort of the amount of zombies rather than Last of Us, which is sort of more the human element, and then sort of like the tension of a couple of zombies.
Yeah.
So
and the threat, whereas this is literally they just run at you, don't they?
I want to get this game.
I was going to say, I think this will come out around the time that I'm finally done with Odyssey and Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. So, yeah, I might pick this up.
Yeah, I might.
In fact, I'm almost certain I'm going to pick this up.
I want to get through Spider-Man first, though.
Nah, that doesn't interest me. I don't really like Marvel, though, do I?
It looks good, but it's another open world game.
What, Days Gone?
Yeah, another one. But
you're just a bitch.
I like open world games, but it's time consuming.
Fun though, isn't it? You can get lost in the world.
You can.
Last one we're going to talk about is something we don't really know. No one really knows anything about this game, do they?
Other than Death Stranding, obviously.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not even the last one because we didn't do the first one because we changed it up.
Oh yeah, we did mixed up the order.
So let's just do this one. Death Stranding.
Yeah.
By Kojima Productions, famous for the Metal Gear Solid franchise.
Well, he is, yeah.
Hideo Kojima, this is.
Yes. Twisted Genius.
Yes, exactly.
Hideo Kojima.
If you've ever played any Gears of War games, what the fuck is going on?
Gears of War?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's going on?
In Gears of War?
Yeah.
What?
What's going on?
Do you mean Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Why did it take you 3 attempts to realise that you...
Because it's 1 a.m.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Metal Gear Solid is mental. It's all the kind of... What gets me with those games is the stuff that only Kojima can think of. Like, do you know about the End? I think it's in Metal Gear Solid 3. The boss fight with the End, who's like an old, retired sniper, like army veteran guy. And there's 2 ways that you can beat it. Well, I mean, there's more than 2, but the 2 main ways you beat him are you either just do it in the game, like you win the sniper fight, or you can... like save your game, and then if you don't play for 2 weeks and go back to it, he's died of old age. Like the game knows that it's been 2 weeks. And also there's a bit where it's like, if you've got a certain game, I can't remember which game it was, but if you've got something on your memory card on, I think it was Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2, there's one of the enemies reads your memory card, sees that you've got that game, and then, like, I think he threatens that he's going to erase your save file or something. And it's like, Kojima's the kind of guy that only he thinks of that.
Yeah.
And Death Stranding, what we've seen is Norman Reedus sometimes naked, sometimes dressed like an astronaut, sometimes he's got a baby. He's on some
Umbilical
sort of
cords
some
and
umbilical
weird
cords,
things.
robotic looking stuff. He's on like a
Mads
moon.
Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen on the moon.
On the moon. There's all sorts of like flying rocks and stuff, aren't there? And
It's crazy, and like
and it's called
Dead Whales or something, and
oh yeah, it's
I don't
called
know.
Death Stranding. So like, what does that even mean?
Guillermo
Guillermo del Toro's involved. He's a bit nuts as well.
There's no release date, but apparently the first 2 hours are done because he showed it to Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, who knows?
No
He's
idea
just
when
a-
this is out. He said the game has started as well, whatever that fucking means.
He's just a nutter, and you
Like,
can't help but be intrigued.
It's
by
not
it.
going to be a traditional game. It's going to be
No.
some hybrid weird, because apparently it's some sort of social experiment type thing as well.
Well, it's clearly a mass departure from the stealth 'em up days that he's made himself famous for. But yeah, I mean, you can't help but sort of be intrigued by it because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so unique.
And it hasn't taken him a long time to get to this point, because I think about 2 years ago now.
No,
Maybe
if
3
you're
years?
talking about PT, no, that's like.
Well,
what-
no, because
what are we
he
now?
left
2019?
Konami in December 2016 or something.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So I'm
Yeah.
looking into that because no, because I've got PT on my PlayStation, which actually makes it worth more money. Because that was of
but
course
PT
the
wasn't the last thing he did.
no,
It
but-
was Metal Gear Solid 5.
No,
2015.
he's
Okay.
55.
2015. I said
To
it
be
was
fair,
December.
yeah, late 2015. So you're not
So
too
it's
far
December.
off, I guess.
Okay, well, it's been 4 years. Okay.
Really, blind. I thought it'd been longer than that, to be honest.
So he's been doing it for 4 years. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see it next year. PS5, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway,
Another one that you think might be on PS5, and our final game for the list.
well,
Coming
this is
to the
one I
end
think
now.
that might straddle.
A straddler.
Straddle.
Oh, God, yeah, we
just
should
like
definitely
Breath
wrap
of the
this up.
Wild on Switch. Is Last of Us Part 2, obviously, by Naughty Dog.
Yeah, good one to end on because
Great one
basically
to end on.
not much to talk about other than the fact that it's obviously going to be excellent.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I reckon it's going to come out late PS4 and then be a launch title on PS5 as like a
Yeah.
well, not a remaster, but it's just going to look so much better,
Yeah.
which is incredible considering you look at that gameplay.
Yeah, it's almost like it'll be The Last of Us 1 in the sense that it was the PlayStation 3 swan song,
Yeah,
and it'll probably be the same for PS4.
that's going to be the best looking PS4 game ever.
Oh, it's going to be. I mean, I did say this yesterday when we tried to record this. When we went to that E3 thing in the bar in Shepherd's Bush, we went to this all-night live stream of E3 last
Loaded
year.
Bar.
At Loaded Bar or Loading Bar?
Loading.
In Shepherd's Bush.
Maybe.
If by some miracle a guy or someone that works there hears this, hook
Give us
up.
a Skyrim.
Yeah, give us a Skyrim.
And I'll give you an Amsterdam.
Yeah, we'll trade you shit beer for interesting gaming themed cocktails. No, so we went to this bar. It was really cool. We watched a pretty much all night live stream of E3, and by far the most memorable thing of the entire show was that 5-minute
Well, it was like
gameplay
it was
preview,
like cinematic, and
and then it
just
turned
went
into
gameplay. Which the
Yes.
thing is about things like that as well. Normally, you don't believe it. You're just like, this is just sort of like pre-rendered video.
Yeah,
Like, it's
there's
not
an expression
gameplay.
for it in there. I can't think what it is
Yeah.
either.
But
Yeah.
a vertical slice.
A vertical slice, is that what it is?
No, that's something different.
That's Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, but with Naughty Dog, you believe it. It's just like it will definitely, like the game will just be a cutscene, and then all of a sudden you'll be
Just
like, oh wait, no, I'm
seamless
controlling now.
transition into
And the way like you interact with, like, I don't know, there's a table there, and if you get punched into it, you react like there's a table there. Like that's the best looking thing about Naughty Dog games. Their games, yes, look incredible, but the way like the worlds work,
yeah.
and you just get mud on your shoes. Oh, love getting mud on my shoes in Uncharted.
The mud in
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 is incredible. But yeah, that's not really much we need to say about this game because we know
What has
it's going
not
to be
been
good.
said.
So to wrap up, I hate again to sound like a Sony fanboy, but PlayStation's list is easily the best.
Exactly.
Easily. And this is why they've won the current console generation, is because the exclusivity and the third-party support has just been
It's just gotten better.
incomparable.
Each year it's just gotten better. Like this year we've had Spider-Man and God of War.
Spyro reignited as well.
That's not exclusive.
Is it not?
No.
Did it come out on Xbox?
I think it did.
How annoying. Well, that's
Wow.
scuppered my little addition.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's too late in the day. We can't really think, so we should probably just kind of end it there. But thanks for listening. If you've got any that you think are interesting, tweet us.
Twat us.
Twat us. Oh, we
Twat
did this
us.
yesterday. We started saying tweet in
Yeah.
interesting ways.
Yeah.
So you
I
can
quoted today.
you can tweet us at Top Chat Podcast. Leave a comment on YouTube. I don't know. Can you write comments on iTunes? I don't know if I can know.
I don't know. Yeah, send us a twat.
Send us a twat.
Don't send us a twat.
Don't send us a twat. Give us a twat. And that's our list. I'm too tired to even function right now.
Well, thank you for
It suddenly hit
staying
me.
up and recording.
Yeah, it suddenly hit me like a brick wall that like we've got to the end and my head's just gone, nope, that's it, you're done.
See what we do for our weekly schedule, for our fans.
For our fans.
For Sebi.
We do this for the hashtag fans.
Exactly. It's going to be uploaded.
For Sebi, just for Seb.
Thursday, I presume. We've got everything ready to
well,
go.
now
really.
it is Thursday, so I shall be
Yeah.
doing it tonight for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm working tomorrow night.
Yeah,
At least I have to be up.
hideous. Well, I'll give you updates, mate. I'll let you know how we're
Thank you.
getting on. I'm sure you'll appreciate that while you're slogging it in the dirty bar in Camden.
Yeah.
It's
all
called
right.
the Monarch, but it's not called the Dirty Bar. It should probably be called that because it's grim as shit. But anyway, well, you enjoy that. I'm going to go and sleep for 6 hours. Not
mate,
even that long, 5.5.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, it's been a good show.
It's been great. Thanks for redoing it, and apologies for the technical issues,
Yeah.
everyone. Well, mainly us. I'm apologising to us.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gone well though.
Yes.
Second time round.
Yeah,
No
it's
hiccups,
been fun
really.
talking about the same things.
I feel like there was enough variety. It's quite strange, really. We brought up things that we didn't even.
Well, yeah, as you said, just like the first one was a rehearsal.
And you still managed to talk about fisting, which was mainly what you wanted to do.
Exactly. That was the one thing I was concerned about. When he messaged me saying these are fucked up, I've got to delete them, I was like,
Shit.
my fisting story.
Not the fisting gold.
Exactly. I
We
was
can't
so
lose that.
angry. I pulled my fist out of my arse. and I
Oh,
was
Jesus,
like,
right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week when we don't talk about fisting.
You
Bye
don't
for
know
now.
that.
We're not talking about... Right, bye for now.
Bye for now.